This tutorial will take you through the executive sign-off setup within Invitbox. If you go to the Admin tab, you first of all need to switch your account settings to executive sign-off. As a default, when you register, your account is set to secondary. So to do this, you go into Company Settings, second option down, sign-off type, and you select Executive. You can then select up to 3 executives. Now, an executive sign-off is in addition to your standard 2 approvals. So you will have an in-tray approval and you will have a secondary approval from the Approve tab, and then you can have up to an additional 1, 2 or 3 what we call executive sign-offs. Now, an executive sign-off doesn't necessarily have to be an executive of the company, but it's typically someone that does not want to get involved in the day-to-day data entry and back and forth regards the actual data, but simply wants to go in perhaps once a week, view the invoices and approve these invoices before they can be paid or transition through to the accountancy software system. So for this example here, we'll put 3 executives on just for argument's sake. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Approve tab so you can actually see what has happened. Okay, so if I go to Havrick Meats, for example, what you'll see here is that there is now 3 avatars after this particular invoice. So you'll notice the top 2 have already got green avatars. I'll explain this in just a moment. So for Havrick Meats, in the Approve tab, if I go to Invoice History, we can see that it has been mapped, it has been approved by a user. That's now in the Approve tab. So before the accounts payables persons can now transfer this, there needs to be 3 separate executives to come in and sign this invoice off. And as we can see from the 3 grey avatars, currently there is no sign-offs. Now, if I was to click on this top one and hover over this green option, you'll see that it tells me that Chris Gregg, myself, approved this invoice on the 19th of November. So now if a second executive came in, someone else, and approved it, that would turn the second avatar green. Notice also, if I go to try and sign this invoice off, it tells me that I've already signed this off, so you can only do that once. You'll also notice that because the other avatars have not been highlighted green, there is no approval option. Now, as an AP clerk, or AP privileges, once all 3 directors have signed these off, the export option, the sign-off option, will become available for the AP for them to move it through to the signed off tab and export through to the accountancy software. One thing to note here with executive approval is that it does not need to be the 3 same executives. You could have 10 people set up with the privilege, and it only needs to be 3 of that pool of 10 people, as an example.